The African savanna stretches endlessly beneath a merciless sun, its golden expanse shimmering with heat. There are no roads, no fences, and no sign of human life. Only the raw, untamed wilderness, where every creature is both a participant and a witness in the eternal drama of survival. Water is the most precious resource here, and its scarcity shapes every interaction. Herds of antelope and buffalo trek for miles, nostrils flaring as they search for the faintest trace of moisture. The grass, once lush, is now a brittle tapestry, crunching beneath hooves and paws alike. Acacia trees, their branches armored with thorns, cast fleeting shadows on the cracked earth. Beneath their sparse canopies, animals gather for a moment's respite, ever wary of what might be concealed in the dappled shade. The air is thick with tension, shimmering with heat and the ever-present threat of ambush. Predators lie in wait, their bodies pressed low against the earth, blending seamlessly with the landscape. Every shadow, every rustle could signal danger. Survival here demands constant vigilance. Zebras and wildebeest graze in tight formations, their ears flicking and eyes scanning the horizon. Each animal relies on the senses of its companions, for a single lapse can spell disaster. The herds move as one, a living shield against the dangers that stalk the tall grass. Yet the predators, lions, leopards, and hyenas, are relentless, their senses honed by hunger and experience. They test the herd's defenses, seeking the weak, the young, or the distracted. Each hunt is a contest of skill and instinct. The big cats move with silent precision, muscles rippling beneath tawny coats, eyes fixed on their quarry. Prey animals, sensing the shift in the wind or the sudden hush of birds, tense for flight. The savanna is alive with sound, a chorus of calls, grunts, and warning snorts. The distant rumble of hooves, the shrill cry of a hunting raptor, and the constant drone of insects create a living symphony, each note a signal in the language of survival. Silence is the most ominous sound of all. When the chatter ceases and the herds freeze, it is a sign that a predator is near. In an instant, the calm erupts into chaos. Hooves thunder, dust rises, and the chase is on. The wind carries messages across the plains, the promise of rain, the warning scent of blood, the musk of a rival. Every animal is attuned to these invisible signals, reading the air for news of opportunity or threat. Life here is a series of standoffs and narrow escapes. A single misstep can mean the difference between life and death, and fortune favors only the most alert and adaptable. Family bonds are forged in adversity. Elephant matriarchs shield their young with unwavering resolve, while lionesses risk everything to defend their cubs. Yet even the strongest ties are tested by hunger, drought, and the ever-present threat of predation. As the sun dips toward the horizon, the savanna is bathed in a golden glow. The day's final act unfolds, a last desperate chase, a narrow escape, a moment of triumph or loss. In this world, beauty and brutality are inseparable, and every creature's story is written in the dust and the dusk. Night brings no respite. As darkness falls, new hunters emerge, stealthy, patient, and hungry. The calls of hyenas echo across the plains, and the eyes of the unseen glint in the shadows, reminding all that the struggle for survival never truly ends. Alone and adrift, a small lion cub moves hesitantly through the endless sun-bleached grass. The golden blades tower above its fragile frame, swaying gently in the warm breeze, concealing the cub from all but the sharpest eyes. Its fur, still marked with the pale, dappled spots of youth, glows softly in the afternoon light, a fleeting camouflage that hints at the cub's vulnerability. Oversized paws, awkward and unsteady, press into the earth with each tentative step. These are the paws of a future hunter, but for now they betray the cub's inexperience and uncertainty. The cub pauses, sitting back on its haunches, a picture of innocence and helplessness. Its body language is uncertain, ears flicking back and forth, tail twitching nervously. Wide blue eyes scan the horizon, reflecting both curiosity and a growing sense of unease. The world is vast and unfamiliar, filled with sights and sounds the cub cannot yet interpret. A soft, plaintive mewl escapes its throat, a call not of command, but of longing. The sound is swallowed by the wind, unheard by the pride that once surrounded it. Earlier, the cub's world was simple. A fluttering butterfly had captured its attention, leading it on a playful chase through the grass, each leap and tumble a celebration of youth. In its innocent pursuit, the cub tumbled and rolled, paws batting at the air, oblivious to the distance growing between itself and the safety of the den. Now the butterfly is gone, and the cub stands alone in a landscape that feels suddenly immense and alien. The grass whispers with secrets, and the cub's heart beats faster. The familiar sense of its mother and siblings have faded, replaced by the sharp tang of dry earth and the distant musk of other animals. Every sound, a bird's alarm call, the rustle of a lizard, makes the cub flinch. The cub lifts its nose, nostrils flaring as it desperately searches for a familiar scent. Each breath brings only confusion and the faint, unsettling traces of predators. Instinctively it crouches low, body pressed to the earth, muscles tensed. The cub's mind is flooded with a primal fear, a sense that danger could be lurking just beyond the next blade of grass. A sudden movement, a grasshopper leaping, a shadow shifting, sends a jolt through the cub's body. Its eyes widen, scanning for threats it cannot see. Flattened against the ground, the cub's ears swivel in all directions, straining to catch the faintest hint of danger. Its breathing grows shallow, every sense on high alert. The playful innocence of moments before has vanished, replaced by a wary, haunted look. The cub's body is tense, ready to flee at the slightest provocation. The savannah stretches endlessly in every direction, dwarfing the cub. It is a solitary figure, dwarfed by the harsh, indifferent wilderness. The instinct to survive is strong, but the cub's inexperience is evident. Without the guidance of its pride, every minute alone increases its peril. From above, the cub is a mere speck in the vast tapestry of the savannah, its fate uncertain, its presence almost invisible to the world around it. The sun dips lower, casting long shadows and bathing the land in a warm, golden glow. The cub's silhouette is etched against the horizon, a symbol of both hope and fragility. As dusk approaches, the cub's anxiety grows. The air cools and the sounds of the savannah shift. Daytime birds fall silent, replaced by the distant calls of nocturnal hunters. Shadows lengthen, and the first hints of night's dangers emerge. Hyenas cackle in the distance, and the low growl of a leopard echoes faintly, carried on the wind. The cub shivers, fur bristling as it senses the approach of predators. Its body tenses, every muscle ready to spring, but there is nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Its calls grow louder, more desperate, echoing across the empty plains. The sound is plaintive, a plea for comfort and safety that goes unanswered. All around, other animals react to the cub's distress. A herd of impala freezes, ears pricked, sensing the presence of both predator and prey. A flock of guinea fowls scatters, alarmed by the unfamiliar cries. In the distance, a jackal pauses, nose lifted, considering the opportunity that a lost cub might present. In the deepening shadows, a pair of hyenas watch with predatory interest, their eyes glinting as they assess the cub's vulnerability. The savannah is alive with silent witnesses, each animal attuned to the drama unfolding in the grass. As darkness falls, the cub curls into itself, trembling, seeking comfort in its own warmth. Its breathing is shallow, its eyes wide and searching, haunted by the fear of what the night may bring. The night air is filled with distant roars and the calls of unseen creatures. The cub's silhouette fades into the darkness, its fate uncertain, its misfortune a silent testament to the harsh realities of life on the savannah. From the long shadows cast by a rocky outcrop, two figures emerge, their movements deliberate and silent. They are spotted hyenas, unmistakable even in the dimming light, their eyes glinting with anticipation. Their bodies are built for endurance and power, with muscular forequarters that drive them forward, sloping down to leaner hind legs, an anatomy designed for both pursuit and confrontation. Their mottled, coarse coats blend seamlessly with the dusty savannah, rendering them nearly invisible as they stalk their prey. With heads held low and shoulders hunched, they move in a slow, confident gait, every step calculated, their dark, intelligent eyes scanning for the slightest movement. A low, guttural rumble vibrates in their chests, the prelude to their infamous cackle, signaling both excitement and intent. Suddenly, they pause, nostrils flaring as they catch a scent on the wind. Instantly, their posture shifts, alert, focused, predatory. The hyenas transition from opportunistic scavengers to relentless hunters, their bodies lowering as they slip through the grass, eyes locked on their target. In larger numbers they can bring down formidable prey, but tonight this pair relies on precision and teamwork, their bond forged by countless hunts. They move in perfect synchrony, each mirroring the other's movements, communicating through subtle glances and body language. A series of whoops and growls pass between them, a complex language that coordinates their approach, heightening the tension in the air. Their gaze sharpens as they spot the source of the scent, a lone lion cub, separated from its pride, vulnerable and exposed. To the hyenas, the cub is not a symbol of royalty, but a fleeting opportunity, an easy meal, its fate hanging in the balance. Their muscles tense, and with a sudden burst of speed, they close the distance, the hunt shifting from stealth to pursuit. The hyenas fan out, circling the cub with calculated precision, cutting off every avenue of escape. They feint and dart, testing the cub's reactions, their movements a blend of caution and aggression designed to exhaust and disorient their prey. Their laughter erupts, echoing across the savannah, a chilling chorus that sows confusion and fear in the heart of their quarry. The lion cub, paralyzed by terror, crouches low, its tiny body trembling as the predators draw closer, their eyes never leaving their target. Instinctively, the cub arches its back, fur bristling, and lets out a desperate hiss, a feeble attempt to appear larger and more threatening. The hyenas remain unfazed, their confidence unshaken. The scent of fear is thick in the air, fueling the hyenas' excitement. Their eyes gleam with anticipation, every muscle primed for the final assault. With lightning speed, the first hyena lunges, its jaws snapping shut just inches from the cub's face, testing its resolve and reflexes. The cub recoils, stumbling backward on unsteady paws, its eyes wide with panic, every instinct screaming for escape. Seizing the moment, the second hyena darts in from behind, its powerful jaws clamping down on the cub's hind leg, pinning it in place. A piercing cry of pain escapes the cub, its small body writhing in agony, eyes pleading for mercy that will not come. The struggle intensifies, dust swirling as the hyenas close in, their bodies pressing against the cub, each movement calculated to subdue and immobilize. The hyenas' attack is merciless, their instincts honed by countless hunts. One aims for the throat, the other for the hindquarters, working in tandem to deliver the fatal blows. The cub's hope fades with every passing second, its cries growing weaker, the reality of its predicament settling in, a desperate, solitary struggle against overwhelming odds. On this patch of dusty earth, the drama of predator and prey reaches its climax. The hyenas, relentless and efficient, are locked in the final act of the hunt, while the cub, battered and exhausted, clings to the last shreds of life, its fate hanging by a thread. The savannah erupts in chaos as the hyenas descend, their bodies low and sinewy, muscles rippling beneath patchy fur. Their eyes glint with a predatory hunger, and their movements are sharp, calculated, and merciless. They swarm with a ferocity born of desperation, each hyena jostling for position, their powerful jaws snapping and tearing at anything within reach. Their method is not swift or merciful. It is a relentless wearing down, a test of endurance and pain. The first hyena clamps its jaws around the cub's hind leg, the pressure immense, and drags the tiny lion through the coarse, sun-baked dust. The cub's body twists, its paws flailing, claws raking the earth, in a desperate attempt to anchor itself. The cub's muscles strain, every fiber of its being fighting against the iron grip. Its eyes are wide with terror, nostrils flaring as it gasps for breath, the air thick with dust and the scent of blood. Another hyena circles, lips curled back to reveal yellowed teeth. It lunges, delivering quick, savage bites to the cub's exposed flank and back, each attack calculated to inflict maximum pain and sap the cub's strength. The cub's skin splits beneath the hyena's teeth, blood matting its fur. Each wound is a fresh agony, nerves alight with pain, the cub's body shuddering with every new injury. Pain radiates through the cub's small frame, overwhelming and raw. Its mouth opens in a silent scream before a hoarse, pitiful cry escapes, echoing across the empty plains. The hyena's teeth rake through the cub's soft fur, tearing at the delicate skin beneath. The cub's body jerks with each bite, its tail lashing weakly, eyes squeeze shut against the onslaught. Its cries grow louder, a mixture of terror and agony, the sound raw and desperate. The savannah, usually alive with the calls of birds and insects, falls eerily silent, save for the cub's pleas and the hyena's guttural growls. Yet deep within the cub, a spark of defiance remains. Its eyes, glazed with pain, still burn with the instinct of a lion, a will to survive, to fight, no matter how hopeless. The cub twists, baring its tiny teeth, snapping at the air in a futile attempt to ward off its attackers. Its jaws close on nothing, but the gesture is one of pure instinct, a final stand against overwhelming odds. Its body trembles with exhaustion, every movement slower than the last. The cub's resistance is a mere shadow of what it once was, but it refuses to surrender, even as its strength fades. The struggle kicks up a thick cloud of dust, swirling around the combatants, obscuring the sun and choking the air. The cub coughs, its breath shallow and ragged, vision blurring as dust and pain overwhelm its senses. The hyena's cackles rise in pitch, a chilling chorus of triumph. Their eyes are wild, their bodies tense with anticipation, every muscle ready to pounce and finish the kill. They toy with the cub, nipping and pulling, their cruelty not born of malice but of instinct. A test of the prey's limits, a ritual of dominance and survival. The cub is dragged back and forth, its body limp between the predators, each hyena vying for control. The ground beneath is stained with blood and churned by frantic paws. The cub's cries grow softer, its energy spent. Its body trembles with fatigue, muscles twitching involuntarily as shock sets in. Its world narrows to a blur of dust, pain, and the looming, grinning faces of its tormentors. The cub's vision dims, the edges of its world closing in. In a fleeting moment, memories flicker, warmth beside its mother, the gentle nuzzle of a sibling, the safety of the pride. These are replaced by the cold, unyielding reality of the present. The hyenas sense the end is near. They grow bolder, crowding closer, their bodies tense and eager, jaws snapping in anticipation. One hyena stands over the cub, chest heaving, eyes fixed on the prize. The others defer, recognizing the hierarchy, as the dominant predator prepares to claim the final blow. The hyena releases its grip on the cub's leg, shifting its jaws to the vulnerable neck. The cub's body is still, save for the shallow rise and fall of its chest. The cub lies motionless, dust caked in its wounds, sides heaving with each labored breath. Its eyes, once bright, are now glazed and unfocused. The hyena's jaws open wide, teeth gleaming, moving inexorably toward the cub's throat. The cub's gaze follows, resigned, unable to move or resist. Time seems to slow, every detail etched in stark relief. The dust motes swirling, the glint of saliva on the hyena's teeth, the trembling of the cub's whiskers, the triumphant giggles of the hyena's echo, a chilling soundtrack to the final act. The savannah holds its breath, the outcome inevitable. Alone on the sun-baked earth, the cub's life ebbs away. A solitary, brutal end, witnessed only by the relentless predators and the indifferent sky. In the golden haze of the late afternoon, the savannah is momentarily stilled by a sudden, almost imperceptible disturbance in the thicket. The grasses shiver, birds scatter in alarm, and a ripple of tension passes through the air, as if the land itself senses the approach of something extraordinary. Herds of antelope freeze mid-graze, their ears pricked and eyes wide, while a flock of guinea fowl erupts skyward in a flurry of wings. Even the ever-watchful meerkats stand upright, scanning the horizon, their bodies rigid with anticipation. The usual rhythm of the wild is broken, replaced by a collective instinctive unease. From the tangled shadows of the undergrowth, a massive, unfamiliar silhouette materializes. It moves with a deliberate, almost primeval grace, its body pressed low to the earth, each step measured and silent. The creature is a Komodo dragon, an ancient predator, far from its volcanic island home, now a stranger in this vast, sun-baked wilderness. Its presence is an anomaly, a living fossil out of place and time, yet perfectly adapted for the harsh realities of survival. The dragon's thick, muscular frame glides over the cracked earth, its claws digging into the soil as it surveys this new, foreign domain. The air is heavy with the scent of dust and distant blood, and the reptile's senses are alive to every nuance. Towering over the smaller denizens of the savannah, the Komodo dragon's sheer size is enough to command immediate respect. Birds scatter from its path, and a lone jackal slinks away, unwilling to test the resolve of this formidable newcomer. Its skin is a mosaic of rugged, armor-like scales, each plate etched with the story of survival. The sunlight glints off its dark, earthen hide, revealing a texture as ancient as the rocks beneath its feet. The dragon pauses, lifting its head, and for a moment it stands as a monument to a lost era, a living echo of the age of giants. Nearly 10 feet from snout to tail, its body is a study in power and efficiency, every muscle coiled for action, every movement betraying the confidence of an apex predator. Its broad, flat head sweeps from side to side, and a long, yellow forked tongue flickers in and out, sampling the air for the chemical signatures of life and death. Each taste brings new information, painting a vivid map of the unfolding drama. The metallic tang of blood draws it forward, mingling with the desperate cries and snarls that echo across the plain. The dragon's nostrils flare, its instincts sharpening with every breath. Its eyes, black and unblinking, are devoid of warmth or mercy. They lock onto the chaos ahead, calculating, assessing, utterly indifferent to the suffering that has summoned it. The dragon's mind is a machine of predation, weighing risk and reward with chilling precision. It sees not the individuals, but the opportunity, a chance to assert dominance in this unfamiliar land. The hyenas, meanwhile, are lost in their frenzy, their laughter echoing as they tear at their prize. Their world is reduced to hunger and bloodlust, blind to the shifting tides around them. Their focus is absolute, their senses dulled by the thrill of the hunt. The vulnerable cub at their center is all that matters, until now. The Komodo dragon exploits this distraction, its massive form gliding closer, each step a masterclass in stealth and patience. Despite its bulk, it moves with a ghostly silence, the dry grass parting beneath its belly, the only sound a faint, ominous rustle. It halts, coiled in the tall grass, every muscle tensed, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The patience of a reptile is infinite, honed by millennia of evolution. Inch by inch, it closes the gap, its approach invisible to all but the most vigilant eyes. The air is thick with anticipation, the tension mounting with every heartbeat. The dragon's motives are clear. It seeks not to save, but to claim. The cub and the kill are prizes in a contest of strength and will. A subtle shift ripples through the hyena ranks. Their cackles falter, replaced by uneasy growls as a new scent and presence invades their senses. Heads snap up, ears flatten, and bodies tense. The pack's confidence wavers, uncertainty flickering in their eyes as they register the intruder. One by one the hyenas turn, their gaze falling upon the colossal reptile that now stands between them and their meal. In an instant, bravado gives way to primal fear. Their eyes widen, nostrils flare, and a shudder passes through the group as they confront a threat beyond their experience. The Komodo dragon is an enigma, a predator from another world, its intentions unreadable, its power undeniable. The dragon halts, its body rigid, head lifted in silent defiance. Every muscle is poised, every sense attuned to the slightest movement. In the charged silence, a wordless challenge is issued, a test of courage and dominance that will decide the fate of all present. The balance of power, once firmly in the hyena's grasp, teeters on the edge of upheaval. The savannah holds its breath, awaiting the outcome of this ancient contest. In this moment, the Komodo dragon is both savior and threat, a force of nature whose arrival will forever alter the destiny of predator and prey alike. The stalemate is broken with shocking speed. The Komodo dragon does not roar or posture, it simply acts. With a surge of prehistoric power, it lunges forward. Its movement is not a run, but a powerful, low-slung charge, its body propelled by its muscular tail and powerful legs. It covers the remaining distance to the hyenas in a heartbeat. The hyena closest to it, the one that had been preparing the final bite for the cub, has no time to react. It turns its head just in time to see the reptilian juggernaut bearing down on it, a silent, scaly missile of death. The dragon's attack is brutally efficient. It opens its massive jaws, revealing rows of serrated, razor-sharp teeth, like those of a shark. But its primary weapon is not the initial bite. It slams into the hyena from behind, its immense weight and momentum knocking the predator off its feet. As the hyena tumbles, the dragon sinks its teeth deep into its flank. The hyena lets out a yelp of shock and pain, a sound completely different from its earlier confident cackles. The dragon holds on, its powerful neck muscles thrashing its head back and forth, tearing at flesh and muscle with its serrated teeth. This is not a battle. It is an execution. The Komodo dragon's saliva is a toxic cocktail of venom and bacteria. Even a minor bite can be fatal, leading to a slow, agonizing death from infection and blood poisoning. But this is not a minor bite. The dragon is inflicting massive trauma, its teeth acting like saws, creating a deep, ragged wound. The other hyena, momentarily frozen in disbelief, watches its partner being savaged by this strange and terrifying creature. The hunter has become the hunted in the blink of an eye, and the sheer violence of the dragon's assault is overwhelming. The injured hyena, driven by pure agony and terror, manages to scramble free. It leaves behind a chunk of its own flesh in the dragon's jaws. It stumbles away, trailing blood, its leg now useless. The dragon does not pursue. It stands over its prize, the now unconscious lion cub, and lifts its head. It lets out a low, guttural hiss, a sound like air escaping from a great bellows. It is a sound of pure, ancient dominance. The message is clear and unambiguous. This kill now belongs to the dragon. The fight has been irrevocably changed by this reptilian enforcer. The Komodo dragon's scales glisten under the harsh sunlight, each one a testament to its evolutionary perfection. Its eyes, cold and calculating, scan the surroundings, ensuring no further threats approach. Nostrils flare as it takes in the scent of the blood-soaked air, a sensory overload that fuels its primal instincts. Its claws dig into the ground, anchoring it firmly as it asserts its dominance over the fallen prey. The dragon's forked tongue flicks out, tasting the air, a method of gathering information about its environment. Its powerful legs, built for both speed and strength, remain tense, ready to spring into action if necessary. The tail, a muscular appendage, swishes back and forth, a balance tool and a weapon in its own right. Each scale, a piece of natural armor, tells a story of survival and adaptation in a harsh, unforgiving world. The eyes, reflecting the light, reveal a predator that has honed its skills over millennia, a true master of its domain. its breath visible in the cool air, is a reminder of the exertion and the life force that drives this ancient beast. The Komodo dragon stands victorious, a symbol of raw, untamed power in the animal kingdom. The uninjured hyena stands frozen, its body tense, every muscle quivering with indecision. Its eyes dart between its wounded companion and the monstrous reptile that now dominates the clearing. The air is thick with the scent of blood and fear, and the savannah seems to hold its breath. Instincts honed by generations of survival scream for retreat. The easy meal has become a deadly trap, and the hyena's bravado dissolves into raw panic. Its paws shuffle backward, claws digging into the earth as it weighs the impossible odds. A chorus of high-pitched, frantic whoops erupts, no longer the cackling laughter of dominance, but a desperate alarm. The call echoes across the grassland, sending a ripple of unease through the nearby herds of impala and zebra, who lift their heads and freeze, sensing the shift in the balance of power. The injured hyena, battered and bleeding, limps desperately to join its partner. Together they break into a ragged run, their movements erratic and uncoordinated, driven by pain and terror. The golden grass parts before them, and their passage leaves a trail of crimson and crushed stems. Their retreat is frantic, a wild dash to safety. They do not look back, not even once. The only thought that remains is escape. Distance is their only salvation. The savannah, moments ago alive with the sounds of conflict, falls eerily silent. The imposing Komodo dragon stands unmoving, its presence alone enough to command the respect of every creature within sight. As the hyenas vanish over a distant rise, their panicked calls fade into the dusk. The lion cub, battered and trembling, lies hidden in the grass, its sides heaving as it recovers from the ordeal. For now, it is safe. The hyenas, now far from the scene, slow their pace only when the dragon is a distant memory. They glance over their shoulders, haunted by the encounter, their bodies still tense and their minds reeling from the shock. In their world, threats are usually familiar: lions, leopards, rival clans, but the Komodo dragon is an enigma, a force outside their experience, and it has left a scar on their collective memory. The hyena's retreat is not a calculated withdrawal, but a rout, a complete collapse of their confidence. Their yelps and whimpers carry far, warning other predators and prey alike that something unnatural has taken place. Even as they regroup, their eyes remain wide and haunted. The memory of the dragon's cold, unblinking stare will linger, shaping their behavior for seasons to come. The Komodo dragon, meanwhile, betrays no emotion. It moves with deliberate purpose, reclaiming the carcass as if nothing extraordinary has occurred. For the dragon, this was simply survival, a transaction, not a triumph. The battlefield is now empty, save for the dragon and the distant, trembling cub. The savannah's usual rhythm resumes, but a subtle tension lingers in the air. As the dust settles and the sun dips lower, the landscape is bathed in golden light. Herds of antelope and zebra, having watched from afar, begin to move cautiously once more, their eyes scanning for danger. In the heart of the savannah, three figures remain: the Komodo dragon, victorious and unchallenged; the hyenas, now distant and forever changed; and the lion cub, battered but alive. The wild has delivered its lesson, and the echoes of this encounter will ripple through the animal kingdom long after the sun has set. With the hyenas finally driven off, the Komodo dragon stands victorious, its massive form casting a long shadow across the battered savannah. The air is thick with the scent of blood and dust, the aftermath of a brutal struggle echoing in the silence that follows. The dragon's attention shifts to the small, motionless lion cub lying in the trampled grass. It lumbers forward, each step deliberate, the ground trembling beneath its weight. The cub is a pitiful sight, its golden fur now stained with blood, caked with earth and tangled from the struggle. Every breath is a shallow gasp, its body racked with tremors of pain and exhaustion. Deep, ragged wounds from the hyena's teeth mar its flank, and one leg is twisted at an unnatural angle, swelling already setting in. Flies gather at the edges of the wounds, drawn by the scent of fresh blood. The cub clings to life by the thinnest thread, its breath shallow, its body limp and unresponsive. Its eyes remain closed, lashes sticky with dust, as if the world has become too heavy to face. To the Komodo dragon, the cub is nothing more than a potential meal, a reward for its dominance. It lowers its massive head, nostrils flaring as it investigates the wounded animal. The dragon's tongue flickers, tasting the air, drawing in the scent of blood, fear, and the unique musk of a young predator. Somewhere deep within the cub, a spark of awareness ignites. Its eyelids flutter, and it senses the looming presence above. The cub's eyes open to a new terror, a monstrous, scaly head with cold, unblinking eyes and jaws capable of ending its life in a single bite. The dragon's breath is hot and fetid, its gaze impassive, ancient and unreadable. The cub's heart pounds, its body frozen in terror. This is a nightmare beyond the one it has just survived. Instinct tells it to flee, but its body refuses to obey. Every muscle is locked in place, paralyzed by fear and pain. There is no escape, no strength left to fight, only the certainty of what seems to be the end. The cub lies perfectly still, bracing for the final, fatal blow. But then, the dragon pauses. Its tongue flicks again, sampling the air with a new caution. Something in the scent gives it pause, perhaps the unfamiliar musk of a feline, or the bitter tang of fear and injury. The dragon's head tilts, its eyes narrowing as it considers the small, broken creature before it. Perhaps the cub is too small, too weak, or simply not worth the effort after such a taxing battle. Or perhaps, in the ancient mind of this reptile, a different calculation is made, one that spares the cub, if only for now. The dragon simply watches, its head cocked in silent observation, making no move to attack. For a long, tense moment, predator and prey are locked in a silent standoff, the savannah holding its breath. In that pause, the cub's survival instinct flares. Adrenaline surges through its battered body, pushing it to act. With a trembling effort, it gathers what little strength remains, muscles quivering with the strain. Ignoring the agony in its leg, the cub begins to crawl, each movement a battle against pain and weakness. The crawl is slow, agonizing, every inch gained a testament to its will to survive. Dust clings to its wounds as it drags itself away from the dragon, leaving a faint trail in the earth. Each movement is a monumental effort, the cub's body straining with every desperate push. The Komodo dragon watches, its eyes following the cub's slow, painful progress, but it does not pursue. The predator remains still, content to let the wounded survivor go. After several agonizing feet, the cub manages to rise, staggering to its paws. It limps forward, every step a test of endurance, guided by the faint hope of reuniting with its pride. The Komodo dragon stands sentinel, watching as the cub disappears into the shimmering heat of the savannah. The landscape ahead is harsh and unforgiving. The cub must navigate a world filled with new dangers, scavengers drawn by the scent of blood, the relentless African sun, and the ever-present threat of starvation. It pauses beneath a sparse acacia, panting, flies buzzing around its wounds. The pain is constant, but the will to survive is stronger. Instinct drives it to lick its wounds, cleaning them as best it can, fighting infection with every rough stroke of its tongue. In the distance, the faint shapes of its pride move through the golden light. The cub limps onward, drawn by the hope of safety and the promise of family. As the sun sets, painting the sky in hues of fire and gold, the cub's journey is far from over. Its body is battered, its future uncertain, but its spirit remains unbroken, a testament to the raw, unyielding resolve of a survivor. The lion cub presses forward, each step a testament to its resilience. The golden grasses sway around its small, battered frame, whispering secrets of survival and struggle. The air is thick with the scent of dust and distant rain, and the cub's senses are sharpened by necessity. Its world has narrowed to a single, unwavering purpose: to endure, to find safety, to return to the embrace of its family. Hunger gnaws at its belly, but the instinct to reunite with its pride is stronger than any pain. The cub pauses, nostrils flaring as it tests the wind. Every sound and scent is analyzed, every shadow scrutinized for threat or hope. The savannah is both a cradle and a crucible, shaping the cub's every decision. Far ahead, the pride is a distant promise, an anchor in a world of uncertainty. Their presence is felt more than seen, a magnetic pull guiding the cub's faltering steps. Pain radiates from its wounds, but the cub's resolve is unbroken. Each movement is deliberate, conserving precious energy, yet propelled by the hope of reunion. A faint, familiar scent drifts on the breeze, warm, comforting, unmistakable. The cub's heart quickens. It follows, guided by memory and instinct, threading its way through the tall grass. Its limp, once a sign of weakness, becomes a badge of survival. Each stride is a declaration it will not yield. The cub's innocence has been stripped away by the ordeal. Its eyes, once wide with curiosity, now scan the horizon with caution and wisdom beyond its years. It has faced the raw edge of mortality and emerged, scarred but alive. The savannah has tested its spirit, and the cub has answered with courage. The landscape stretches endlessly, a mosaic of opportunity and danger. The cub's journey is etched into the earth, a silent record of its will to survive. Suddenly, the air vibrates with the distant calls of the pride. Their voices carry across the plains, urgent and searching, a lifeline cast into the wild. The cub halts, ears pricked, every muscle tense with anticipation. The sound is a beacon, a promise of belonging. The pride's calls are laced with anxiety and hope, their search for the missing cub relentless. Bonds forged by blood and survival drive them onward. Summoning the last reserves of strength, the cub answers, a frail, wavering cry that carries its longing and pain into the night. From the crest of a rise, the cub's mother appears, her silhouette regal against the fading light. Her senses are locked onto the sound of her offspring. With a surge of maternal urgency, she races across the savannah, her powerful muscles propelling her forward, closing the distance with every stride. She reaches her cub, enveloping it in gentle nuzzles and soothing licks. Her low rumbles vibrate with relief and fierce devotion. The cub, exhausted, surrenders to her care. In her presence, the cub finds sanctuary. The ordeal is not forgotten, but for now, it is home, protected, cherished, and part of something greater than itself. Elsewhere, the Komodo dragon surveys the aftermath. The savannah stretches before it, indifferent to the drama that has unfolded. The fleeting taste of victory lingers, but the dragon is unmoved. Its mind is governed by ancient drives: hunger, territory, survival. It has staked its claim, leaving a mark on this foreign land. The encounter is already fading from its memory, replaced by the next imperative. With deliberate, heavy steps, the dragon retreats into the thicket, vanishing into the shadows from which it emerged. Its role in this story is finished. The savannah, ever-changing, will remember only the traces left behind. The dragon is a solitary wanderer, a relic of a distant world, moving through this new terrain with the confidence of a born survivor. Its future is uncertain, shaped by instinct and the relentless search for sustenance. Its path is solitary, dictated by the rhythms of hunger and opportunity, a stark contrast to the lion cub's journey, which is defined by connection and kinship. The dragon slips away, a shadow among shadows, its presence already becoming legend in the minds of those who witnessed it. Night falls over the savannah, painting the land in silver and blue. The air cools, and the world quiets, save for the distant calls of nocturnal hunters. The lioness lifts her cub gently, carrying it back toward the safety of the den. Each step is measured, careful not to aggravate the cub's wounds, yet determined to return to the heart of the pride. The cub will carry the marks of this day, a living testament to the dangers that lurk and the strength required to overcome them. Its future will be shaped by this trial, its instincts sharpened, its place in the pride forever altered. The Komodo dragon, now a distant silhouette, continues its solitary trek. Its journey is one of endless movement, driven by needs as old as time. Two destinies, shaped by the same unforgiving land, now diverge. The lion cub, surrounded by the warmth and protection of its pride, will grow and learn, its future intertwined with those who share its blood. The Komodo dragon, ever alone, will roam the savannah, a living echo of a primeval world, its fate determined by the choices it makes and the wildness of its environment. In this vast, indifferent wilderness, every decision, every path is a matter of life and death, each animal forging its own story beneath the endless African sky. As dawn breaks, the savannah awakens to the echoes of the night's ordeal. The golden grass glistens with dew, bearing silent witness to the drama that unfolded under the shroud of darkness. In the cool morning air, the aftermath of the rescue sends subtle ripples across the land, touching every creature that calls this place home. Nearby, a herd of impalas grazes with heightened alertness, their ears flicking at every sound. The memory of the Komodo dragon's presence lingers, a new threat woven into their collective consciousness. Instinct compels them to move in tighter groups, their movements more cautious, their gazes scanning the horizon for any sign of disturbance. The matriarch, experienced and wise, leads them towards safer grazing grounds, away from the scene of last night's struggle. A coalition of jackals, opportunistic and ever vigilant, investigates the area where the hyenas fled. They sniff at the trampled earth, searching for discarded scraps or clues left behind. The scent of fear and chaos is still fresh, but the jackals know that the savannah wastes nothing. Even in the aftermath, life finds a way to persist, to adapt, to seize whatever advantage it can. Birds of prey circle above, their sharp eyes scanning for movement below. The lioness and her cub, now sheltered in the heart of the pride, draw wary glances from scavenging vultures. These aerial sentinels sense the shifting balance of power. Their presence a reminder that the cycle of life and death is unending. The environment, too, bears the scars of the night. The grasses are flattened in wide arcs, marking the path of flight and pursuit. The scent of blood hangs faintly in the air, mingling with the freshness of the new day. A distant thunderhead promises rain, its shadow creeping slowly across the plains, signaling change. Within the pride's den, the lion cub adjusts to its new reality. Its wounds, though painful, are tended by the gentle tongues of its kin. The pride gathers close, offering warmth and reassurance, their bodies a living shield against the dangers beyond. The cub's ordeal has not gone unnoticed. Older siblings nuzzle it with newfound respect, while the pride's elders observe in silence, recognizing the resilience forged in fire. Though still limping, the cub tests its strength, pushing against the boundaries of its pain. Each tentative movement is met with encouragement, a soft rumble from its mother, a playful swat from a sibling. The lessons of the night are etched into its memory, the importance of vigilance, the power of unity, and the ever-present shadow of danger. Across the savannah, the Komodo dragon's passage has unsettled the delicate balance. Its scent lingers in the hollows and burrows, prompting smaller creatures to alter their routines. Meerkats delay their emergence, scanning for threats before resuming their morning foraging. Warthogs keep their young closer, wary of the unfamiliar predator that now roams their world. As the sun climbs higher, life resumes its rhythm, but with subtle changes. The memory of the night's events persists in the cautious movements of prey, the heightened vigilance of predators, and the quiet determination of a young lion cub learning to survive. The savannah, shaped by these ripples, continues to evolve, a living tapestry where every trial leaves its mark and every survivor carries the story forward beneath the endless sky. As the morning sun stretches across the savannah, the Komodo dragon moves with deliberate purpose, through the still, cool grasses, its massive frame casting a long shadow on the earth. The events of the night linger in its memory, a clash of predators, a failed hunt, the taste of opportunity slipping away. Yet survival offers no time for regret. The dragon's tongue flickers, sampling the air for the faintest trace of prey or danger. Instinct drives it onward, away from the lion pride's territory and into the vast open plains where few rivals dare to tread. Each step is measured, its heavy claws disturbing insects and sending small lizards darting for cover. The dragon pauses at a shallow watering hole, its armoured head dipping low to drink. Nearby, a flock of guinea fowl erupts in alarm, scattering into the underbrush, their shrill calls echoing across the landscape. The Komodo dragon is an outsider here, a formidable presence that unsettles the delicate web of life. As it moves, a troop of baboons observes from the safety of a distant acacia tree. The older males bark warnings, herding the younger ones higher into the branches. The dragon ignores them, its cold gaze fixed on the ground, searching for signs of weakness. An injured antelope, the remains of a predator's kill, any opportunity to satisfy its hunger. A swirl of dust signals the passing of zebras, who keep their distance, eyes wide and nostrils flaring at the scent of the reptilian intruder. Even the scavenging hyenas, emboldened by numbers, choose caution over confrontation, trailing the dragon at a respectful distance before melting back into the tall grass. As midday approaches, the dragon seeks shelter beneath a cluster of thorny shrubs, where the soil holds the coolness of night. Here it rests, conserving energy, its camouflage blending perfectly with the mottled shadows. Flies buzz around healing wounds from the night's chaos, but the dragon pays them no mind. Its focus is survival, patience, stealth, and the relentless pursuit of opportunity. Overhead, a lone tawny eagle circles, drawn by the possibility of carrion. The dragon's presence alters the rhythm of the day, its mere existence a reminder of the unpredictable dangers that roam the savannah. For now it waits, poised between hunger and hope, a solitary force adapting to a new and challenging landscape. As the sun begins its descent, the Komodo dragon rises once more, driven by the primal urge to hunt, to endure, to carve its own path through the unforgiving wild. The savannah, ever watchful, braces for the next encounter, knowing that the dragon's journey has only just begun. As the golden heat of afternoon settles over the savannah, a somber mood hangs within the lion pride. The absence of the youngest cub is a wound felt by all, an ache that ripples through the air with every anxious glance and low, rumbling call. The matriarch, her tawny coat dusted with the pale earth of their territory, paces restlessly beneath the shade of a lone acacia. Her ears flick at the faintest sound, her nose quivers, searching for a scent that might lead her to her missing child. The lionesses gather, their movements deliberate and tense. With practiced coordination, they split into small groups, each fanning out in a different direction. The eldest female leads her sisters along the riverbank, noses pressed to the ground, reading the tapestry of scents left by passing animals. They move with urgency, but also with caution. Every shadow could conceal danger, every gust of wind might erase the faintest clue. The pride's dominant male lingers at the edge of the territory, his mane ruffled by the dry breeze. He listens for the distressed mewl of his cub, a sound he has heard countless times in play, now replaced by a silence that gnaws at his instincts. He marks the boundaries, his presence a warning to encroaching rivals, his eyes scanning the horizon for any sign of movement. Hours pass. The lionesses encounter obstacles at every turn. A herd of buffalo churns the dust, their heavy hooves trampling any trace of the cub's passage. The river, swollen from last night's rains, presents a barrier, its banks slick and treacherous. Yet the lionesses do not hesitate. They ford the waters, muzzles held high, calling softly as they search the reeds for a sign, a tuft of fur, a paw print in the mud, a lingering scent on the breeze. Their journey is fraught with moments of hope and heartbreak. At one point, a lioness freezes, her eyes fixed on a disturbance in the tall grass. The pride gathers, hearts pounding, only to find the remnants of a hyena's meal. Relief mingles with sorrow. The cub is not there, but its fate remains uncertain. As dusk approaches, the pride regroups atop a rocky outcrop. The lionesses nuzzle one another, sharing strength in their grief. The matriarch's roar echoes across the plains, a summons and a plea, a mother's call that carries far beyond the reach of human ears. In the gathering darkness, the pride does not abandon hope. Their search will continue through the night, driven by the unbreakable bond that ties them together. In the wild, every life is a thread in the fragile tapestry of survival. For the lion pride, the quest for their lost cub is more than instinct. It is a testament to love, resilience, and the enduring spirit of family beneath the endless African sky. As twilight deepens, the hyenas retreat far from the site of their failed ambush, slipping through tangled undergrowth and weaving between skeletal thorn bushes. Their movements are wary, flanks pressed low to the ground, ears twitching at every sound. In the dimming light, they gather in a loose circle beneath a scrubby cluster of fever trees, their mottled coats blending with the shadows. The matriarch stands at the center, bigger, older, her posture radiating authority. She surveys the younger clan members with sharp, appraising eyes. A low, guttural whoop rolls from her throat, not of triumph, but of command, a call to regroup and reassert order. Around her, subordinates jostle for position, their tails tucked, heads lowered in deference. Some lick at wounds, a torn ear, a bleeding flank, silent reminders of the lion's unexpected intervention. The clan's social structure becomes clear in these tense moments. Higher-ranking females assert dominance with subtle gestures, a snap of the jaws, a stiff-legged walk, a quick nip at a rival's shoulder. The lowest-ranking hyenas hover at the edge, hesitant, waiting for permission to approach the scraps of bone and gristle salvaged from earlier. Their whines are soft and pleading, barely audible over the rustle of dry grass. The air is thick with frustration and hunger. The matriarch circles a young male who had fled first, her lips curled back in warning. He flattens himself, exposing his throat in submission. No violence is needed. Her authority is absolute. The others watch, learning the cost of failure and the value of unity in the unforgiving wild. Above, vultures wheel lazily in the fading sky, drawn by the scent of blood. The hyenas ignore them for now, focused on reinforcing bonds within the group. Some nuzzle and groom one another, tongues rasping through coarse fur, a ritual that soothes frayed nerves and reaffirms alliances. Their laughter, high, eerie giggles, breaks the silence, a brief release of tension that echoes into the night. As darkness falls, the clan settles into uneasy rest, bellies empty, but spirits unbroken. They know the night is long, and the savannah offers no guarantees. But together they are stronger, a family forged by hardship, guided by instinct, and always ready for the next opportunity that the wild may bring. As dawn breaks over the vast expanse of the savannah, a tapestry of life unfolds under the fiery glow of the rising sun. The landscape, once a verdant paradise, now shifts and morphs with the changing seasons, each alteration a testament to the relentless march of nature. The dry season grips the land in a parched embrace, turning lush grasses brittle and golden, while waterholes shrink to mere puddles contested by all who depend on them. In the distance, a herd of elephants trudge wearily towards a dwindling water source. Their trunks sweep the ground, searching for the last vestiges of moisture hidden beneath the cracked earth. The matriarch leads with unwavering resolve, her every movement a beacon of hope for the younger members of the herd. Calves huddle close to their mothers, their small, inquisitive trunks mimicking the adults. learning the ways of survival in this harsh terrain. Nearby, a pride of lions rests in the shade of an acacia tree, their golden coats blending seamlessly with the sun-scorched grass. The lionesses, ever vigilant, scan the horizon for signs of prey, their eyes narrowing against the glare of the sun. Hunger gnaws at their bellies, and the cubs, oblivious to the severity of their plight, playfully pounce on each other, their innocence a stark contrast to the unforgiving environment. The savannah is a stage where life and death perform an eternal dance. Herds of wildebeest and zebra move in unison, their migration a desperate quest for greener pastures. The ground trembles beneath their hooves, a rhythmic beat that echoes across the plains. Predators lie in wait, their lean bodies coiled with anticipation, ready to exploit any sign of weakness. A cheetah sprints after a young gazelle, the chase a blur of speed and agility, a testament to the raw power and precision of nature's design. Birds of prey circle high above, their keen eyes spotting even the slightest movement below. A solitary vulture descends upon a carcass, its powerful beak tearing through sinew and bone, recycling life back into the ecosystem. Scavengers perform a vital role, ensuring that nothing goes to waste in this delicate balance of life. As the day progresses, the heat becomes oppressive. Animals seek refuge in whatever shade they can find, conserving energy for the cooler hours of dusk. In the stillness, the buzz of insects fills the air, a constant reminder of the hidden life that thrives despite the harsh conditions. Termite mounds rise like sentinels, their architects working tirelessly to maintain their subterranean fortresses. The struggle for survival is relentless. A lone buffalo, weakened by age and the scarcity of resources, falls prey to a pack of wild dogs. The scene is brutal, yet it is a necessary act in the cycle of life. The pack's pups, hidden in a nearby den, will feast and grow strong, ensuring the continuation of their lineage. As the sun dips below the horizon, the savannah transforms once more. The cool night air brings a sense of reprieve. Nocturnal creatures emerge from their hiding places, embarking on their nightly forays. A leopard slinks through the shadows, its spotted coat a perfect camouflage against the starlit backdrop. It moves with silent grace, every muscle attuned to the hunt. The savannah is ever-changing, a dynamic environment where only the adaptable survive. Each day brings new challenges, new opportunities, and the unyielding drive to endure. It is a world where beauty and brutality coexist, where every creature plays a part in the intricate web of life. And as the night deepens, the cycle begins anew, a testament to the resilience and tenacity of the wild. As the savannah settles into the hush of night, a new peril stirs beneath the surface, one that moves without warning, silent and unseen. In the shallow remnants of a shrinking waterhole, a ripple disturbs the glassy surface. Unbeknownst to the thirsty herds gathering at dawn, a colony of Nile crocodiles has claimed the muddy basin as their stronghold. Deprived of easy prey during the dry spell, these ancient predators lie submerged, only their eyes and nostrils visible above the water, waiting with patient cunning. Nearby, a family of warthogs approaches the water's edge, their snouts sniffing the air, wary but desperate. The matriarch leads, her tusks gleaming in the pale light, while her piglets lag behind, distracted by fluttering insects. The crocodiles remain motionless, their camouflage perfect, blending with the dark water and scattered reeds. Time stretches, tension mounting, as other animals, impala, baboons, even a lone wildebeest, join the congregation. Each is drawn by thirst, each oblivious to the lurking threat. Suddenly, chaos erupts. With an explosive surge, a crocodile lunges from the depths, jaws agape, targeting the smallest warthog. The herd scatters in a flurry of dust and squeals, hooves pounding the cracked earth. In the panic, the crocodile snatches its prey, dragging it beneath the surface. The waterhole churns for a moment, then settles as if nothing ever happened. Word spreads quickly across the savannah. The predator's strategy is effective, using drought and desperation to their advantage. They exploit the congregation of animals at the remaining water sources. Elephants, with their intelligence and memory, adapt by probing the earth for hidden springs, while antelope learn to approach the waterhole only in large, alert groups. Baboons post sentinels in the branches above, screeching alarms at the slightest disturbance. The environment itself conspires in the crocodile's favor. The muddy water cloaks their movements, and the drying reeds offer further concealment. As the dry season deepens, competition intensifies, not just among prey, but between predators as well. Lions and hyenas, once rulers of the land, now find themselves wary of the water's edge, unwilling to risk an encounter with the ancient reptiles. In this new chapter of survival, every creature must adapt or perish. Strategies shift, alliances are tested, and the balance of power subtly tilts. The Silent Invaders have altered the rules of the Savannah, proving that in this ever-changing world, danger can come from above, from below, and from the most unexpected places. As the first blush of dawn spills across the Savannah, the world awakens in a hush of golden mist. Dew clings to the brittle grass, each blade catching the light like 1,000 tiny lanterns. The air is cool and fragile, carrying the distant calls of awakening herds and the soft rustle of wings overhead. Amid this serene transformation, a solitary figure emerges from the tangled shadows, a lion cub, battered but unbroken, moving with cautious hope through the hush of morning. Every step is careful, the cub's small paws pressing into the damp earth, leaving faint tracks behind. Its fur is matted with dust and dried blood, but its amber eyes burn with determination. Guided by instinct and the faintest traces of scent, the cub pauses often, listening for any sign, any echo of a familiar call carried by the wind. Beyond a low rise, the cub's ears prick forward, catching a distant chorus, a symphony of low, rumbling purrs and playful growls. The pride, gathered beneath the sheltering arms of an ancient acacia, stirs in the dappled light. Mothers groom their young, siblings tumble in the grass, and old scars glimmer on weathered faces. Yet, at the edge of the group, a lioness stands apart. Her posture is tense, her gaze fixed on the horizon, searching for the one who has not returned. The cub crests the hill, heart pounding, and for a moment the world stands still. The lioness lifts her head, nostrils flaring, hope warring with fear. A single tentative call escapes the cub's throat, a soft, wavering mewl that carries across the open space. Silence falls. Then recognition blossoms in the lioness's eyes. She surges forward, muscles rippling, her stride powerful and desperate. The distance closes in a blur of emotion. The cub stumbles, exhausted, but the lioness reaches it, enveloping her lost child in a cocoon of warmth and scent. She nuzzles the cub fiercely, her rough tongue sweeping away the dust and pain of separation. Around them, the pride gathers, encircling the pair with gentle purrs and reassuring nudges, a tapestry of connection woven anew. The cub collapses into the safety of its family, the ache of loneliness dissolving in the comfort of familiar bodies and steady heartbeats. Above, the rising sun bathes the reunion in gold, promising another day of survival and hope. The savannah, ever watchful, bears silent witness to the resilience of a bond that endures through darkness, danger, and distance. In this fragile moment, the world is, for a heartbeat, whole again. Beneath the same rising sun that witnessed the lion cub's return, another solitary figure prowls the borderlands where grassland meets thorny scrub. The Komodo dragon, ancient and enigmatic, moves with deliberate purpose, its massive form casting a long shadow over the dew-soaked earth. Each step is measured, claws raking lightly through the soil, tongue flickering to taste the scents that linger in the cool morning air. Unbothered by the distant commotion of the lion pride, the dragon navigates its territory with an unhurried confidence. Its armored skin glistens with the moisture of dawn, scales shifting in a mosaic of mottled browns and greys, a living relic perfectly attuned to this unforgiving landscape. As it moves, The dragon disturbs a cluster of insects, sending a flurry of beetles and grasshoppers leaping for cover. Small mammals freeze, then dart away, their survival instincts sharpened by generations of encounters with such a formidable predator. A warthog family rooting nearby senses the dragon's approach. The adults bristle, snouts raised, and shepherd their piglets deeper into the thicket. The Komodo dragon pays them little heed, its focus drawn instead to a freshly fallen carcass, a wildebeest brought down in the night by other hunters. Here, the dragon's role in the ecosystem is revealed, not just a predator, but a crucial scavenger. Its powerful jaws tear into the hide, consuming flesh, bone, and sinew with methodical efficiency. Smaller scavengers, jackals, vultures, even bold mongooses, circle at a respectful distance, waiting for their turn at the feast. As the dragon feeds, its presence shapes the flow of life and death across the savannah. The nutrients it releases back into the soil nourish the next cycle of growth, feeding the grass that sustains the herds, the predators, and the prey. When sated, the dragon lumbers away, leaving behind a stripped skeleton and a patch of trampled earth, evidence of its quiet, relentless work. Later, at the edge of a drying waterhole, the Komodo dragon encounters a pair of wary baboons. The primates shriek and scatter into the trees, but the dragon is uninterested in pursuit. Instead, it slips into the mud, cooling its body and watching the world with unblinking patience. Fish dart through the shallows, birds flit overhead, and the dragon remains, a silent guardian of the balance that binds all creatures here. In this vast and ever-shifting wilderness, the Komodo dragon is both hunter and caretaker, reminder and reality. Its journey continues, sometimes seen, more often felt, in the subtle changes it leaves behind. And as the day brightens and the savannah stirs to life, the dragon's solitary path is woven, quietly and indelibly, into the tapestry of survival. As the sun climbs higher, heat shimmers across the savannah, revealing a landscape governed by ancient laws and ever-shifting alliances. Here, power is not measured by size alone, but by cunning, adaptability, and the ability to read the subtle signals of a world in constant flux. The lion pride, dominant atop the food chain, patrols the open plains with regal assurance. Yet even their supremacy is tenuous, challenged by rival coalitions and by the relentless opportunism of hyenas. These scavengers, maligned but ingenious, work together in tightly knit clans, their eerie calls echoing across the grasslands. Hyenas test the pride's boundaries, probing for weakness, always ready to exploit a moment's distraction. Nearby, herds of wildebeest and zebra graze, their movements orchestrated by the pulse of rainfall and the promise of new grass. They are vigilant, relying on sheer numbers and keen senses to detect predators stalking the periphery. A single snort or flick of an ear can trigger a stampede, a wave of motion that confounds even the most experienced hunters. At the margins, smaller predators like jackals and servals employ stealth and speed, slipping through tall grasses in search of rodents, birds, and the occasional unattended egg. Their survival depends on agility and acute perception, watchfulness honed by a lifetime of evasion. Beneath the surface, change is underway. The river, once swollen and brimming, now recedes, its muddy banks exposing hidden dangers. Crocodiles lie in wait, motionless but ever alert. The shrinking waterhole draws creatures of every rank, elephants, gazelles, warthogs, each vying for a precious drink, each aware that a single misstep could prove fatal. Above, raptors circle, their sharp eyes scanning for weakness below. Vultures, patient and pragmatic, trace the paths of predators, ready to descend upon the remains of the day's hunt. This intricate web is not static. Seasons shift, droughts bite, and wildfires sweep across the plains, redrawing boundaries and forcing all creatures to adapt. Some thrive, others perish, but each plays a part in the grand equilibrium of the savannah. Even the mighty suffer setbacks. Disease, injury, and the relentless march of time spare none. In this arena, survival is not guaranteed by strength alone, but by the ability to sense change, to forge alliances, to know when to fight and when to yield. The balance of power is a living thing, fragile, dynamic, and fiercely contested. Here, each dawn brings new tests, and every creature, from the smallest insect to the greatest beast, is both a ruler and a subject beneath the vast, indifferent sky. As the savannah breathes beneath the midday sun, the next generation stirs, a tapestry of youth woven into the landscape's ceaseless rhythms. In the shadow of acacia trees, lion cubs gather in loose clusters, their eyes wide with curiosity. Each playfight is more than mere amusement. It is practice for the battles that will shape their future. They stalk, pounce, and tumble, learning the silent language of the hunt, the flick of a tail, the tension in a crouch, absorbing lessons from elders and siblings alike. Nearby, young hyenas mimic the tactics of their clan. They observe the matriarch's every move, memorizing the complex social cues that govern their rank and access to food. Through mock chases and tug-of-war over bones, they hone their strength, agility, and teamwork, skills that will one day determine their place within the clan's hierarchy. At the water's edge, a wildebeest calf watches its mother with unwavering attention. When danger stirs, a rustle in the reeds, the sudden hush of birds, the calf mirrors her response, learning to freeze, to listen, to bolt at the first sign of threat. In the tall grass, zebra foals shadow their herds, practicing the art of blending in, their stripes a living shield against the eyes of predators. Elsewhere, a young serval crouches low, ears swiveling to catch the faintest squeak of a mouse. Each failed pounce is a lesson in patience and precision, every success a step closer to self-reliance. Jackal pups test their boundaries at dusk, venturing further from the den, guided by scent trails and the distant calls of their kin. The environment, too, shapes these lessons. The receding river teaches caution. Muddy banks are both a playground and a peril, where crocodiles lurk beneath the surface. With each season's change, the young adapt, learning which paths offer safety, which berries are edible, and how to read the shifting moods of wind and sky. In the endless classroom of the wild, every moment is a test, every experience a teacher. The next generation learns not only from triumph, but from failure and loss, from the silent warnings etched in the tracks of those who came before. It is through this relentless cycle of observation, imitation, and adaptation that the future of the savannah is forged. One lesson, one life at a time.